the nurses, the first responders, and I learned so much about coronavirus. And one thing that's for certain, don't let it dominate you. Don't be afraid of it. You're going to beat it. We have the best medical equipment. We have the best medicines, all developed recently. And you're going to beat it. I didn't feel so good. And 2 days ago, I could have left 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I felt great, like better than I have in a long time. I said just recently, better than 20 years ago. Don't let it dominate. Don't let it take over your lives. Don't let that happen. We have the greatest country in the world. We're going back. We're going back to work. We're going to be out front. As your leader, I had to do that. I knew there's danger to it, but I had to do it. I stood out front. I led. Nobody that's a leader would not do what I did. And I know there's a risk, there's a danger, but that's okay. And now I'm better, and maybe I'm immune. I don't know.
Hey, Donald.
Oh, my God.
It's the steroids talking, Donald.
You're gonna...
Hey, you're roided out right now. I know you can't stay away from cameras. You probably should. Yeah, Mika knows that feeling.
I yelled at the neighbor once.
When she got roided out. You get roided out, you say really stupid things.
Yeah.
Now, listen, you're saying roided out that you're like, I don't know, maybe I'm immune from it. Hey, Donald, could you tell all the roids that are raging through your body that your own doctor said, quote, he's not out of the woods yet? Would you let those roids know that?
Yeah.
Would you also tell those roids that you're not healthier than you've been in 20 years? Maybe the roids are whispering into your ear and they're saying that you are strong. Now, you're actually still a frail, obese, I mean, not just mildly obese, you're in really bad shape. Physically,
morbid.
You have underlying conditions, perhaps an underlying heart condition. We don't know exactly what happened when you went to Walter Reed last year, but if you look at your medical records, calcium deposit in your blood, I think, is up. And you're not well. So, and Jonathan Lemire, Chris Murphy tweeted something that I know a lot of seniors in Florida and Arizona are thinking this morning. When Donald Trump roided out, as he was, said what he said. Chris Murphy wrote this: "Don't be afraid," says the guy with a team of a dozen doctors, access to experimental treatments that no one else gets. Literally, no one in the world gets the three drugs at the same time that he got. A 4-room hospital suite, who lives in a house with top doctors on site 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all of which he gets for free because he refuses to pay taxes. Don't be afraid. Well, I would say, since his own doctor says, Jonathan, he's not out of the woods yet, perhaps if the president weren't on all those steroids, he might actually be thinking clearly and understand that he even still has a reason to be worried, because this is a deadly disease that's killed well over 200,000 people, despite all the lies he's been spewing since February.
Joe, I was on the White House lawn last night when the president returned via Marine One from Walter Reed. We saw his walk across the lawn, which seemed fine, if slow, and he stopped and waved to cameras. And then, as you've been noting, after he was up the stairs, and he was clearly labored with his breathing, gasping for some air at times. And this is a moment that was both a surprise and yet completely predictable. He took off his mask before saluting Marine One. And he didn't put his mask back on when he went back inside to deal with the staff that was about to film that video that you've been playing this morning. And you've certainly hit upon an important point here. The president in that video said, maybe I'm immune. Well, right now, he's still contagious. He is still walking around, shedding the virus, and is now exposing people in the White House to it. Now, they're converting a few rooms in the residence to office space. He's not expected to spend any time soon in the Oval Office or over in the West Wing, but his doctor also said yesterday, Dr. Conley, that he wouldn't be restricting the president either. The president would have freedom of movement. And it's also key we should focus in on what the doctor didn't say yesterday. Though he gave out his vitals and said the president had been fever-free for a few days, though, however, the steroid he is on can knock down fevers. He would not reveal the president's lung scans, citing privacy concerns, citing HIPAA, even though he freely offered other pieces of medical information, which raised the question, why, if he was perhaps only sharing the good news and not the bad? So there are still a lot of uncertainty about the president's lungs. There's also uncertainty this. The doctor and the White House have steadfastly refused to note when the president's last negative test was. We know his first positive test was upon his return from Bedminster on Thursday, but it's not clear when he was tested previously. How long, perhaps, was he positive and exposing people to the virus? Was he not tested Thursday morning before going to Bedminster? Or perhaps it wasn't even Wednesday morning before Minnesota, or maybe even Tuesday before the debate.